Benjyfishy Fish, a renowned British esports personality, first rose to prominence as one of the most dominant Fortnite players in the late 2010s, captivating audiences with his lightning-fast building mechanics, precise aim, and innovative strategies that helped propel teams like NRG Esports to multiple tournament victories. However, as the competitive Fortnite landscape evolved, Benjyfishy began exploring other genres, particularly tactical first-person shooters, where his innate mechanical skill and game sense could shine in more structured environments. By early 2023, he fully committed to Valorant, Riot Games' free-to-play 5v5 tactical shooter that emphasizes precise gunplay, agent abilities, and team coordination. Joining Team Heretics, a rising European organization, Benjyfishy quickly adapted his Fortnite-honed reflexes to Valorant's deliberate pacing, becoming a standout sentinel main agents like Killjoy and Cypher, whose kits revolve around site lockdowns, traps, and information control. His playstyle is characterized by a calm, calculated demeanor under pressure, allowing him to anchor defenses with utility while popping off with headshot-heavy duels when needed. As of December 2025, Benjyfishy remains a key pillar for Team Heretics in the Valorant Champions Tour, having helped the team secure top finishes in events like VCT Masters Toronto 2025 and the Esports World Cup playoffs. Which mouse does Benjyfishy use? Benjyfishy uses the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 as his primary gaming mouse, a choice that aligns with his low-sensitivity playstyle emphasizing control and accuracy in fast-paced shooters. This wireless mouse, weighing just 60 grams, features Logitech's advanced Hero 2 sensor capable of tracking up to 44,000 DPI with sub-micron precision, zero smoothing, and acceleration-free performance, making it ideal for the flick shots and tracking required in Valorant duels or Fortnite builds. The Superlight 2's lightweight magnesium exoskeleton and hybrid optical mechanical switches provide a crisp 100 million click durability, while its Lightspeed wireless technology ensures latency-free responsiveness, allowing Benjyfishy to maintain fluid movement without cable drag during extended sessions. This mouse represents an upgrade from his earlier Logitech G Pro X Superlight, the original model, which he used extensively from around 2021 to mid-2024. As evidenced by older setup breakdowns in his own social media posts showcasing Logitech gear. The switch to the Superlight 2 likely stems from its improved battery life up to 95 hours, enhanced switch feel, and refined ergonomics tailored for right-handed claw or fingertip grips, which suit Benjyfishy's compact hand size and aggressive aiming style. Benjyfishy mouse settings. At the heart of Benjyfishy's mechanical prowess lies his mouse setup, which prioritizes stability and accuracy over flashy responsiveness, a deliberate choice for a player who transitioned from Fortnite's high-movement chaos to Valorant's methodical engagements. He employs the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 in black, a featherweight wireless mouse weighing just 60 grams, engineered for esports with its Hero 2 sensor delivering pinpoint tracking up to 44,000 DPI without acceleration or smoothing. This model pairs seamlessly with his low-sensitivity approach, allowing for wide arm sweeps during flicks while maintaining pixel-perfect control for holding angles. His DPI is set to 800, a standard among pros that balances desktop navigation with in-game finesse, ensuring the cursor doesn't feel sluggish outside of Valorant. The in-game sensitivity hovers at 0.283, a notably low value that demands large mousepad real estate but rewards muscle memory with exceptional tracking during sprays and peaks. Benjyfishy has noted in streams that this setting helps him feel every adjustment in crosshair placement, reducing overaiming in clutch scenarios. Combined, this yields an effective DPI of 226.4, placing him in the lower EDPI bracket of Valorant pros, akin to players who favor arm aiming over wrist flicks for sustained accuracy in mid to long range fights. Scope sensitivity is locked at 1.0, meaning no multiplier adjustment for sniper rifles or abilities, which keeps his muscle memory uniform across weapon switches, a critical factor for sentinels who often toggle between rifles and operator-style utility. The polling rate runs at 1000 Hz, polling the mouse's position 1000 times per second for buttery smooth input without perceptible latency, while Windows sensitivity is defaulted to 611 to avoid any OS-level scaling that could introduce jitter. Raw input buffer is disabled, opting instead for the game's native raw input to bypass Windows processing entirely, minimizing potential delays in a game where split-second reactions define rounds. In practice, this minimalist crosshair enhances Benjyfishy's sentinel utility plays, where clear sightlines are paramount for lining up turret shots or tripwire triggers, and it reflects his broader philosophy of stripping away distractions to let skill dictate outcomes, a far cry from Fortnite's busier HUDs, yet perfectly attuned to Valorant's emphasis on headshot economy. Benjyfishy crosshair settings. Benjyfishy's crosshair embodies the less is more ethos prevalent among high-level Valorant players, designed to serve as an unobtrusive reference point rather than a distracting overlay that clutters the screen during intense exchanges. He opts for a classic red primary color #FF0000 in hex, a vibrant yet non-intrusive hue that pops against Valorant's diverse map palettes from the sandy tones of Ascent to the neon glows of Breeze without blending into enemy outlines or environmental hazards. Outlines are completely turned off, with opacity and thickness both at 0, eliminating any border that could obscure subtle target edges in low-contrast scenarios. This choice aligns with his preference for raw visual feedback, trusting his aim to align naturally without artificial guides. The center dot is absent, further streamlining the reticle to pure lines, as Benjyfishy believes a dot can inadvertently draw focus inward during wide flicks, potentially hindering peripheral awareness in team fights. Delving into the inner lines, which form the crosshair's core, opacity is set to 1 for full visibility without fade, length at 4 pixels for a compact yet readable span that suits close-quarter sprays, thickness at 1 pixel to keep it razor-thin and non-intrusive, and offset at 0 to center them precisely on the screen's focal point. Outer lines are disabled entirely, no length, offset, or thickness eschewing dynamic expansion for errors, as movement error and firing error are both off. This static design prevents the crosshair from blooming during strafes or bursts, maintaining consistency even when his Vandal or Phantom is unloading. Benjyfishy map settings. Diving deeper into Benjyfishy's map settings, the rotate option is set to rotate, which ensures the minimap dynamically adjusts its orientation based on the player's direction of movement rather than remaining static. This choice is highly practical for aggressive players like Benjyfishy, as it aligns the map's perspective with his real-time positioning, making it easier to visualize paths for flanks, retakes, or site pushes without mental recalibration during chaotic engagements. In contrast to a fixed rotate that might feel disorienting in fast-paced scenarios, this setting promotes seamless navigation across maps like Ascent or Bind, where tight angles and verticality demand constant spatial awareness. Complementing this, the fixed orientation is configured to based on side, meaning the minimap flips or rotates according to whether the player's team is on the attacking or defending side. This side-based adjustment is a strategic preference among many pros, as it standardizes the map's layout to match the round's objectives, for instance, ensuring attackers see sites in a consistent top-down view while defenders get a mirrored orientation that aligns with spawn points. By avoiding a universally fixed view, Benjyfishy minimizes cognitive load, allowing him to focus on utility usage or crosshair placement instead of deciphering an unfamiliar map layout mid-round. A key aspect of Benjyfishy's map philosophy is the emphasis on centrality and visibility, evident in his Keep Player Centered setting, which is toggled on. This keeps the player's icon perpetually at the minimap's center, regardless of their position on the map, providing an intuitive reference point that enhances quick glances during firefights or when calling out enemy positions to teammates. For a duelist like Benjyfishy, who often initiates or anchors key areas, this centering prevents the minimap from drifting off-screen during aggressive pushes, ensuring he can instantly assess distances to objectives or lurking threats. The minimap scale and detail are fine-tuned with a minimap size of 1.098, striking a subtle enlargement over the default to increase readability without encroaching on peripheral vision, crucial on high refresh rate monitors like his Zowie XL2586X plus 600Hz, where every pixel counts for competitive edge. Similarly, the minimap zoom at 0.8 offers a moderately zoomed-out view, pulling back just enough to reveal broader sight connections in mid-control areas while retaining granular details like plant spots or common crossfire lines. This zoom level is ideal for maps with expansive layouts, such as Haven or Icebox, where Benjyfishy can spot rotations from afar without zooming in too tightly and losing context, a common pitfall for players who over-customize for micro-details at the expense of macro strategy. Visibility of ally and enemy movements is amplified through the minimap vision cones set to on, which displays directional lines indicating where teammates and foes are facing where last spotted. This setting is invaluable in coordinated pro play, where Benjyfishy relies on it to predict utility throws, anticipate peaks, or coordinate smokes. Think of it as a real-time radar that turns the minimap into a predictive tool rather than a passive overlay. In high-pressure scenarios like post-plant clutches, these cones help him gauge if an enemy is pre-aiming a flank or if a teammate is covering an angle, directly contributing to his high kill-death ratios in VCT events. Rounding out the configuration, show map region names is permanently set to always, ensuring labels for areas like a site, the lobby, or mid-top are persistently visible. Benjyfishy video settings. To ensure his hardware's full potential translates to on-screen fluidity, Benjyfishy runs Valorant at a competitive 1280 by 960 resolution in full-screen mode, stretched slightly for a wider field of view that subtly enlarges enemy models without distorting proportions, a subtle edge in pixel peaks. His FOV is defaulted to 103, the game's horizontal standard that provides balanced peripheral vision without the fisheye effect of higher values, ideal for his mid-range engagements on sites like Benjyfishy. Graphics are dialed down aggressively for frame rate supremacy. All quality presets, textures, models, UI are low, shadows and effects off entirely, with VSync disabled and anti-aliasing set to MSAA 4X only for edge smoothing without performance hits. This yields consistent 400 plus FPS on his NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 GPU, eliminating input lag in a title where 600Hz monitors like his Benjyfishy XL2566X Plus demand unflinching refresh rates. Bloom, distortion, and cast shadows are off to reduce visual noise, while enemy highlight color is yellow for quick threat identification. These choices prioritize raw responsiveness over aesthetic fidelity, allowing Benjyfishy to spot subtle cue like a jet dashes pixel trail amid the chaos of a retake, a necessity for Heretic's aggressive post-plant strategies. Benjyfishy monitor settings. Delving deeper into the on-monitor adjustments, Benjyfishy's configurations emphasize balanced visibility and contrast to cut through Valorant's dynamic lighting and shadows, ensuring he spots peaks and utility deployments instantly. For the Benjyfishy XL2566X Plus, he sets the black equalizer to 10, a feature that selectively brightens dark areas without washing out brighter sections, which is crucial for identifying crouched enemies in low-light sites like Benjyfishy or a sens mid-vents. Brightness is dialed to 63 out of 100. Striking a middle ground that prevents overexposure in well-lit maps while maintaining punch in dim corners, calibrated to his dimly lit streaming room to avoid glare from overhead lights. Contrast sits at 10, keeping image depth subtle to preserve texture details on agent models and weapon skins, avoiding the crushed blacks that could hide flankers. Sharpness is finely tuned to 8 depending on the source. Recent updates from specs.gg and pyrosettings.net lean toward 1 for a softer edge that reduces aliasing on pixelated UI elements, while older Asus configs favored 8 for crisper outlines. Gamma is locked at Gamma 3, enhancing mid-tone visibility for better enemy silhouette detection against foggy or smoky backdrops, a setting that pairs seamlessly with Valorant's in-game Gamma 2.2 for consistent color grading. Color temperature defaults to user-define, with vibrance at 0 to neutralize oversaturation, ensuring that red crosshair accents pop without tinting the neutral grays of map geometry. These tweaks, often iterated through practice ranges and VOD reviews, reflect Benjyfishy's analytical approach. He avoids aggressive sharpening that amplifies noise, opting instead for a clean canvas that rewards his wrist-based aiming style. Benjyfishy keybind settings. Benjyfishy's keybinds strike a balance between accessibility and efficiency, leveraging his familiarity with standard FPS layouts while incorporating tweaks that facilitate rapid ability cycling, a boon for Sentinel agents whose kits demand split-second activations amid defensive setups. Movement fundamentals are intuitive. Walking is bound to left shift for silent flanks without accidental sprints, crouching to left control for low-profile peaks that integrate seamlessly with his arm aiming style, and jumping to the spacebar is the universal standard, though he occasionally scrolls up on his mouse wheel for bunny hop chains and casual cues. Interaction and equipment follow a linear progression, using objects like doors or plants as on F, a thumb-friendly key for non-combat actions, primary weapons on 1, secondaries on 2, melee on 3, and the spike on 4, allowing index finger rolls across the keyboard's top row for quick swaps during eco rounds or post-plant scenarios. Abilities are mapped with Sentinel synergy in Mindem. Ability 1 Killjoy's Nanoswarm on C for easy pinky access while AD strafing. Ability 2 Alarmbot on Q for opportunistic left-hand reaches. Ability 3 Turret on E, the default use key repurposed for frequent deployments, and Ultimate on X, positioned under his ring finger for dramatic activations like a well-timed lockdown ULT without derailing aim. Aiming down sights remains the right mouse button, preserving hand-deadness for his claw grip on the Logitech mouse. These binds, verified through his Wooting 60He keyboard's analog input, which he uses for nuanced movement gradients, minimize finger travel and cognitive load, enabling Benjyfishy to weave utility into gunfights effortlessly, such as dropping a molly grenade mid-duel or suppressing with a turret while reloading. Benjyfishy gears. Benjyfishy's setup is a testament to iterative refinement, blending cutting-edge peripherals with ergonomic reliability to support grueling practice sessions and LAN dominance. His mouse, the aforementioned Logitech G Pro X2, anchors the desk with its sub-1 ms click latency and lightspeed wireless tech, paired with a large GameSense X Benjyfishy radar mousepad for those low-sense sweeps. The keyboard, Wooting 60He, introduces Hall effect switches for adjustable actuation points tuned to 0.2mm for lightning crouch spams and analog movement, mimicking controller-like subtlety in a keyboard form. Riot's rules prevent his custom Benjyfishy edition, but the base model suffices. Audio comes via the Logitech G Pro X2 wireless headset, delivering spatial surround sound for pinpointing footsteps, complemented by an Antlion mod mic for crystal clear comms during VCT scrims. His Benjyfishy XL2566X Plus monitor, a 360Hz DPI Plus panel, eradicates motion blur at 1080p, while the NVIDIA RTX 4090 in a custom high airflow rig often in HP Omen chassis powers the visuals without thermal throttling. Seated in a noble chair's hero, with ambient RGB minimized to avoid distractions, this ecosystem totaling around $3,000 fuels Benjyfishy's dual streamer pro lifestyle, where mornings might involve Fortnite queues before Valorant ranked climbs.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest news and updates. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite gaming setup tips or what you'd like to see next on the channel. Let's build a gaming community together.